I'm seeing a lot of Suicide Squad fans out there. Let's bring her out. Karen Fukuhara. Come on up.
How's it going?
Welcome. It's always nice to have you. All right.
I see a Harley Quinn. I like that.
You were asking back there if there are any cosplayers out here. I think we've got a few Suicide Squad cosplayers here.
I see you.
I'm going to move this down.
Yep, I'm short, so
yeah.
this would be nice. Okay.
Sure, but I think you could take out just about everybody in this room, too. So, okay, here's the thing. This flick, I think it's around 15 million behind Batman v Superman right now here in the States.
Ooh.
It's one of the top movies. Your first film.
Yeah.
Good gig.
I know. I got lucky with this one. I don't know what I did to
They're not
deserve
all
this.
like this. You know that. They don't all make this kind of money.
I know. I guess the money is great. I never really look at the numbers, but the experiences that I've had on set and with the cast, the director, it's just been a dream come true.
I was thinking like Eddie Murphy in 48 Hours, where it's just like boom, right out of the gate and something, and it's just like it takes off, and it's like, no, they're not all like that. But
I know. Well, that's what my castmates have been telling me. Because we've had such fun times on set, and we are truly friends. They're saying that, not all movie sets are like this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, good work if you can get a good gig just to start off your career. Okay. So your parents are from Japan?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
tell us the story of them. How did they get over here? What was the circumstances around them coming over to here? Because you were born in LA, or were you born?
Yeah, born and raised in LA, never left. I really want to venture out and move to a different city or a state or a country.
Where would you want to be?
I would love to live in San Francisco. I've interned there for 2 months over summer in college, so I know I love the city. Or New York. It's always a dream.
Okay.
And then if it were abroad, I would love to live in Berlin.
Oh, wow, okay. So you just, I get it, especially with Suicide Squad, you're probably doing some world traveling, so you probably get to see all these different places and kind of figure out where you want to be. Okay, so your parents coming over?
So my father was already living in LA. I forget what he was doing. Oh, no, he was working as at a travel agency. He was taking Japanese tourists from Japan to Disneyland and all the attractions in LA, and my mom was a guest on the tour bus. Okay. And then they got married and happily ever after.
Wow. Okay. And so how do you? Okay, so coming into this, how did you get into the business? Because you did some television work was it Disney, and then there some more. So you're actually working in Japan on occasion. How did just growing up, take us through that time period of what things interested you and how you sort of got into broadcasting and maybe the entertainment field on that level?
Yeah, so I started off in middle school. I lucked into the entertainment business. I was a host on a show called Disney's Movie Surfers.
Like, how does that happen in middle school, though? I mean, is there a casting call that goes out or somewhere, or did your dad hear about something? Or?
So the one I went to was an open call audition.
Okay.
Anyone could come, and my friend knew the casting director, so he knew about the audition, and everyone in my Japanese school, Saturday Japanese school, lovely, we all went together just kind of for fun. I've always wanted to become an actress, and I was interested in that world, so it was a big chance for me and opportunity. So I went over, and then I ended up getting the role. So
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I lucked into that, and then I lucked into my sports reporting right after. So I did the Disney show up until high school, and then the sports reporting came right after high school.
And this is NHK World Sports?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have an interest in sports? Did you have a sports background? Or again, how does this?
No.
I think everybody out here is just like, that would be great, but how do I get into that? So how do you get in? Because you've gone to all these, we talked about, you're going to all these stadiums and meeting all these athletes and
So for that show, I used to do karate over in LA, still do kind of, but so we use the same dojo, the same place as the kendo class. And the kendo instructor was a freelance cameraman on the show. And he said, we need a new reporter. Would you like to audition? So I auditioned with other people and then ended up getting the job. So
And how old are you at this point?
I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no knowledge of sports or that? Okay.
Nothing.
So what homework do you do at that point? Do you just like start binge watching football?
I think what they wanted was someone that was bilingual and that knows how to relay the excitement that's happening in front of their eyes to the audience, and that's
Okay.
something that I was doing on the Disney show already. So the knowledge on sports, it was not as important as that aspect.
So you're almost asking them questions, like, teach me about what you do. Is it that kind of thing?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like, so what is a designated hitter or something?
Yeah, well, the NHK show was not really about the sport and the nitty-gritty details about the plays. It was more about the players and their personal life, what kind of music they like,
like feature stories and okay.
Like what's the museum like within this stadium, things like that.
Who's the coolest athlete that you met and why?
Manny Ramirez.
Uh-huh.
Because he gave me a bat.
He gave you a bat.
He gave me a signed
There's
bat.
some bats out here, I know. They're
He gave me
totally
a
different
signed
bat out
bat.
here. But.
Because I gave him my homemade rice ball.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. Good experiences.
There's an interesting experience with me. Okay, so where is the bat now?
Somewhere at home.
You didn't give it to Margot Robbie,
No,
did you?
no.
It's
No.
not that one. Okay.
No.
Just checking on that. So
Maybe. Could be the one she used in the movie.
growing up, what sort of things appealed to you? I mean, obviously not sports, but you sort of segued into that. But you said you longed to be an actress or you wanted to get into acting. So what were some of the things you were watching or seeing? Movies, television, comics at all? Were you into anything like that?
I was really into Japanese anime. And, yeah.
People are cheering already.
Anyone?
I think you have some fans out there, yep.
So, I mean, a lot of the Miyazaki films I've grown up on. It's funny because coming from a first-generation Japanese family, it's great because you get to experience both cultures, but you also have a very big gap in one culture if you're so focused on the other. So I don't know who Dora the Explorer is, but I know who, Princess Mononoke is. Yeah. And yeah, Inuyasha. What else? Just
Okay.
Doraemon.
So you do have some of the martial arts background coming into it. Let's get into Suicide Squad then, because this, again, your first feature, your first big anything that's coming into this. How did you first find out about this? Was this an open casting call? And just take us through that experience of you finding out about it and then ultimately getting the role of Katana.
Yeah, so after graduating from UCLA, I kind of hit a roadblock. I hit a wall, as many young people do. All my friends were going after what they were passionate about, already had their, jobs lined up. And then here I was not really knowing what I wanted to do with my life. So for a couple months, I lived in Japan trying to see if that was something that I wanted to do with my life. It wasn't. And so
Cross that one off.
cross that one off. Really great experience, but it wasn't for me. Came back to LA and then really thought about what I wanted to do, and I realized that I've always wanted to become an actress, but I never knew how to do it. What is an agent? What acting classes to take? There are so many options, especially in LA. The networking, I didn't have any of that. So I started taking classes. I, did my research on what necessary steps I needed to take in order to get into the business. And then, let's say that I think that was around October or November of 2014. And then I auditioned for Suicide Squad January, February of 2015.
Okay, you say you auditioned for Suicide Squad. You didn't audition for Suicide Squad. You were auditioning for something.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was auditioning for.
This blows my mind because, okay, okay, so do you know about the whole DC universe at that point? Like, were you
No,
into
not
some
at
of these
all.
things, or even the Marvel movies, or?
I mean, of course, I've seen the Spider-Man movies, and then I've seen, my love is the Batman movies, so I've seen the Batman movies.
Okay,
but,
so you're around the world.
yeah, but you know, I didn't know how big the world, like the fan base is incredible, and you know, I've never heard of Suicide Squad or Katana before the audition, and you know, until I read the comics.
What were you going in for? Okay, it's an audition for.
It's a big secret, you guys. You don't know how secretive they are. Even during the shoot, they gave us all red, like, scripts printed on red paper so that we couldn't make photocopies of the script because they were so afraid of the material leaking. And then they collected everything at the end of the day of the shoot. It was funny because I think someone from this convention asked if I could bring, you know, call sheets or pages of scripts that I can sign and give out to you guys, and I just don't have them because they collected them all.
They took everything from you.
They did. I mean, it's.
So when you're going in for the audition, I mean, it could have been a romantic comedy. It could have been, like, you had no idea. How do you mentally prepare?
They just said it was.
Because you're not going in like swinging a sword, like, I'm going to take everybody out of this room.
I think they did mention that it was going to be a comic book film, but I didn't know to what scale. Could have been an independent film for all I know. So.
Okay. So how do you go in, and then when do you start to get a sense of what it was? Did you ever get a sense of what it was until the day of shooting?
Of course, yeah, I did do my research going into the audition.
Okay.
I just, because the character description was so specific and there aren't that many Japanese superheroes in the comic book world. So I did come up with Katana on my Google search.
You kind of got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
On my Google search, but I couldn't confirm it. I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's another Japanese DC character. I'm not sure. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have them all lined up for you at the mic here in a second. Everyone will list every one of them for you.
Yeah.
But didn't they say something to you at the audition, like, oh, by the way, if you...
Yeah, no. Okay. So for the audition, they said, obviously there was the acting portion, but then they also had a martial arts demonstration, and then they said, if you have a sword lying around at home, it so that you can do a sword fighting demonstration. And I was there thinking, I have never carried a sword in my entire life. Who just has one at home?
It's not, it's not like,
You do? Okay, maybe you guys.
Oh, you may be talking in the wrong room
I'm
here.
sorry, yeah.
This room probably has swords everywhere. Yes, they bring them in with them, yes.
See, I should have reached out to you guys. I don't know what I was thinking. Should have.
Totally different environment going in. So,
Yeah.
okay, so then you get a sense, like, did you do anything, what were you doing in the audition? Because you have some martial arts background. Mm-hmm. What do you, like, did you flip a casting director or something? Or, like, how did you, like, something nailed the job for you?
So the martial arts portion, I didn't even choreograph it because I've done karate and I've competed in the forms division, and it just kind of came naturally to me. But for the sword fighting portion, I did like a 3 to 5 hour private with a friend of mine the night before.
3 to 5 hours?
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be 1 hour, and then I was not confident swinging that thing around, so I made him stay, and he was so nice about it.
Wow. You didn't hurt him, did you?
No.
Okay, he's still with us.
Yes, he's still with us.
Thank goodness.
I still have his sword, actually.
Okay.
And
Now you do have one lying around the house.
Yeah, I do. I never got to tell him that I booked the role. Yeah.
He knows now.
Well, okay, so he wasn't a friend of mine. It was a friend of a friend. It was a distant friend. So I never
seen the flick.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course, now he knows. But before I went, because it was such a secret, they made me sign NDAs, and they were like, you can't tell anyone where you're going.
Mom or dad? Did you tell mom or dad? Like
I told my mom and dad.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Did dad get like what it was? Because he's like the tourist guy. Like, did he get what this whole world?
No, I mean, my parents don't even really speak Japanese or speak English, so they didn't really grasp what it was going to be. And I think I didn't even grasp what it was going to be until when it really hit me was San Diego Comic-Con. when we were filming.
That'll do it.
You know, of course, I met Will Smith, and I was working with David Ayer, and we were already shooting, and it was all very real. But I just thought that, you know, it's such a dream come true that it could all one day I could just wake up and it'll be gone. If I told someone would say, "Okay, Katana, we're just replacing you with someone else." You know what I mean? It's just I wanted to keep it a secret. I wanted to be confirmed and stable. But I think when it really hit me was the San Diego Comic-Con when I saw the Hall H. It was completely filled, a huge poster of all of our faces on all up on the walls, and I think that's when it hit me. You know, the universe and the fan base and the support behind it all. It was amazing.
And you're right in the middle of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
What better way to get immersed in it?
Thank you.
Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and if you have any questions, there's a microphone right here in the middle. So if anybody has any questions, we can start lining up here, and then
Star
we got one.
Wars.
Is that there's probably a little button right there. Can flick that on.
All right. My question is they just confirmed a Harley Quinn film. Have they actually come to you and asked if you're going to be in the film as a side role or anything like that? That was my question for you, and thank you for coming to Cincinnati.
Thank you so much. No, not yet. They haven't come to me directly. It's kind of, I'm crossing my fingers though, because I want to be in it so badly. I'm hoping it's a Birds of Prey movie, but who knows? I also think that the Harley Joker relationship needs to be explored a bit more. So maybe it's a focus on them. I'm not sure. I just want to be a part of it though. Yeah.
Question. We've got a couple more coming up here.
Hopefully. Hi.
Sorry. How was it like working with Mr. Courtney, and like when in the movie you two kind of had like a little bit of a one-sided on and off relationship? Do you think it was kind of what I want to ask is, was there anything like that off screen at all when he was trying to get prepared for that?
No, Jai and I are like brother and sister, and he's a big prankster, which is kind of a completely opposite personality from what I'm used to. I'm not as stoic and serious as Katana, but Jai is just as crazy as Boomerang. So I think it'd be interesting to see where the two characters go in the DC world, especially because their personalities are so different. But we'll see with Maseo and the Soul Taker how he takes that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You sort of hit on something there too, because you're perky. I mean that as a compliment. You're bright, you're fun, you're happy. Where do you go as an actress to find that warrior? Because you watch the film, it's not this person there that's up there. It's just this. You're just like slaughtering people and slashing, and it's like, where do you go to find that? Or like, do you go in a corner?
You don't do that? No.
Well, depends on if I've had my coffee that day or not. But well, maybe that's the
exactly.
trick.
No, that's why I have my coffee today. See,
That's
maybe
exactly.
that's the
If you
secret.
didn't have that, you'd have the sword. My head would be lopped off right now. How do you channel that, or do you how do you build? How long does it take you for you to build up to that?
I think a variety of aspects go into it. A lot of it has to do with my karate background. You do sort of have the samurai warrior spirit, the fighting spirit when you take on a martial art. But growing up watching Japanese traditional movies, I think I drew a lot from that, and Katana's loyalty and Giri Ninjo, which is basically loyalty, to her lord. You can see a lot of that in Japanese films and history. You kind of have to sacrifice yourself for the greater good, or to protect someone, or to protect Rick Flag, Amanda Waller, and that actually goes into a lot of her warrior spirit as well.
Do you have a signature move? Do you have a go-to move personally?
A go-to move.
Like one that works in martial arts?
In martial arts.
Specialty?
I like my kicks. I really like my kicks, my roundhouse kicks.
Can you show us one?
No. No.
Can you show us anything?
I could show you like a self-defense move.
Could you show me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you show,
Should I try it
could
on
you show me
you?
something and not kill me?
Yeah, of course.
Are you sure?
Should
Okay.
we do it? Or should we invite someone up? Oh, we can invite someone up.
Are there any physicians in the audience? Okay, so we're good. I'm covered, so yeah, you may be taking.
Okay, does anyone want to try this with me? Ooh. You do karate.
Oh, and it's a Harley, too.
Okay, maybe you can come up then. Yeah? Okay. Okay, maybe she's going to hurt me, though. No, Jesus Christ. I see you, Katana.
She doesn't have a bat with her, though, so I think we're safe.
Oh, wait, does this come off? Oh, yeah. Yeah, come up. Okay, so it's a self-defense move, so I'm not going to hurt you. But
Stay far away from me.
okay, so I'll try it on you, and then you can try it on me. Okay, so grab me from behind. Just neck is fine. Grab my neck, anything. Oh, great. Okay, so I think in a lot of situations, girls are grabbed from the back and then taken down. So for this, I would look for the left leg or right leg, depending on which side you prefer. Step on your left leg, and then you're probably going to go down because I hurt you. Yeah. So you're going to go down, and then your head will be there, and then you will elbow the head or elbow the stomach, depending on what's closest. So you can go like that, and then you can just go like this, and then now you're in fighting position. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Nice job. We'll use our outside voice.
So I'll grab you from the neck. All right, and then my foot will be somewhere there. Yeah, and then you have to do it with force, though. You have to like really charge it up.
Be careful, kids.
Elbow my face. And now you're ready to fight. Yeah, or run. I would choose run.
Running, yeah. I always opt for running.
Yeah,
That's my go-to move, just
Running is the
avoid
safest,
confrontation at
I
all
think.
costs, at all. Thank you for doing that. That was very
Yeah.
nice. Now we saw a little bit of your training process. So
Sorry.
next question, yeah. Here's the sword.
Yeah, I love that. I wish I brought mine.
That'd have been cool. Do you know what LARPing is?
I've heard of it. I've seen it. I haven't done it.
Okay, it's live action role playing, and I do that a lot, and I use this sword a lot. So I thought it'd give me really good luck if I had Katana sign my katana.
Oh, yeah, of course. Do you have a pen?
Please, someone tell me you have a pen.
Anyone? Sure.
you.
Yeah, of course.
Sharpie'd be better. Sharpie would be better.
Again, please be careful with these things.
Black would be better on that sword.
Thank you.
No, funny story.
How many swords are brought to you?
A lot. But it's my favorite thing to sign because it's so cool and thoughtful.
Memorable.
Yeah. Anywhere?
Yeah, I'll play it anywhere.
You're saying you had a sword signing story?
Maybe the scabbard if someone brought
What's your name? Caden. How do you spell it?
Or the Tsuba, I suppose.
By the way, everyone else, if your question is, can I have an autograph? It'll be no.
First one gets away with it.
No, so funny story. I'm only 5'2", and so initially David wanted me to carry this large, epic-looking sword, and then my fight coach told him that I'm too short for it, so they had to cut it pretty much in half. I'm exaggerating. I'm not that short, but no, they had to cut it because I couldn't draw it from my saya because I'm my arms were too short, essentially.
While she's doing that, we'll take another. Yeah, go ahead with your next question here.
Okay, if you had to be a different superhero, who would you be?
A different superhero?
Yeah.
Ooh, I get that question a lot, and my answer changes every time because all of them are so cool. Oh, here.
Thank you.
I really love Batman, so I would love to be Batman. I think.
Okay.
I think, but I don't know if I'm big enough to be Batman. I would be the smallest little, like...
Michael Keaton pulled it off. I mean, he's fine, you know, they just
How tall is he?
build the suit. He's not that tall.
Yeah, if the suit looks big, maybe they'll just, you know, like put my head in it and...
I think we'll let you be Katana for a while, though. I think, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you've got
I
that.
like
think you've
being
got that
Katana.
lesson. What was your training like for pre-production coming into this? Like, how
Yes.
long did you train for the role?
So we went in at the beginning of March for a month and a half. Trained also during the shoots. So we did martial arts training, and then for me, sword fighting, and then rehearsals as well. Oh, and then fitness. It was cool because all of it kind of intertwined with one another. When I went into it, I was not fit at all, or not nearly as fit as Katana was. So you know, my fitness coach had to build my arm muscles so that I could use the sword and lift it, and a lot of sword fighting comes from the core. So I had to work on my abs, and all the coaches just talk about it amongst themselves, and then they create a routine for us. So we got the best of the best.
I'm sure that was
Yeah.
fun, going through all that training. I'm sure you loved that.
That's the best thing about being an actress or, you know, an actor. You get to learn new skills on every movie set.
It's, and you're starting at the top, too, so
Oh,
that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, no, I'm very,
You're doing
very
a lot of
grateful.
different things, including, next question?
Honestly, in this day and age, if you really want to be Batman, all that matters is right here, you know?
That's true.
Everything
I
else
don't
is
have the
covered,
butt chin,
so-
though.
Yeah,
Maybe
you need the
I might
chin.
have to,
Yeah, no,
sandpaper that in.
Speaking of Batman, you mentioned before the possibility of being in Birds of Prey. Katana's kind of a team character, so is there any particular team that you'd like to be in film version, like the Birds of Prey, or for example, The Outsiders with Batman? And is there any in particular you're interested in, or is it pretty much just if they want me, I'll go?
I mean, all of them would be an awesome opportunity, especially because, you know, for the Suicide Squad film, we didn't really get to explore much of Katana's past and her backstory, so a standalone would be great. But, you know, right now there's a movement in Hollywood, female empowerment and diversity. So I would love, Woo! I would really love to see Birds of Prey happen. You know,
Not the only one.
Yeah, a girl squad that's strong and powerful. I think it would be really cool. I think what they're doing is seeing if people will come to see Wonder Woman, how that'll do, because they need assurance. They want to know that they can pull a crowd, that women, female actresses, and female leads can pull a crowd, and I absolutely think that we should be able to.
One other thing, that you did mention traditional Japanese films kind of inspired what you were doing. Any in particular, like Zatoichi, or anything in particular that informed Katana?
You know, no, because it's just kind of been integrated in my home, and I never know what I'm watching because it's just on. But specifically for Suicide Squad, I pulled from Last Samurai, which is not from Japan, but you know, that was a great film. Love that. And then her personality, I kind of looked into Mikasa from Attack on Titans. Yeah. Oh, not the
tell a
live
friend
action
that. He'll
one,
be thrilled.
but the anime. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As a fellow martial artist, I want to thank you for the proper representation of karate.
Thank you.
Yes. Just want to say that.
Oh no, thank you so much. I thought you had a question, so I was like, what is it? Thank you. Hi. It's too tall for you. Yeah. Yeah, wait, cut that in half.
Are you gonna make Suicide Squad 2?
I'd love to, and you know, from day one we've had talks about it. we said we would wait for box office, and I think we're doing pretty well on box office.
Yeah, I did
Do you
all right.
agree?
Made a
Yeah.
few bucks.
You know, but I just like to keep my fingers crossed. I like to be secure, like I said earlier, so I don't want to, you know, they haven't given me the official word, so I'm not going to say that there will be, but I'm really hoping that there is.
We heard Batman and the Outsiders mentioned. Certainly Katana showed up on Beware the
yeah.
Batman, the animated series. She shows up in the kind of the world of Batman. Any lunches with Ben Affleck recently?
No, I wish.
Have you met? Have you?
We've met, yeah, we've met, and we, you know, in London, yeah,
Okay.
he, you know, they're shooting in,
What was he
Europe
talking
right now.
about? Anything?
No, nothing. No, we didn't talk
How's the
that
family?
much.
Okay.
No, but like, you know, I had my little starstruck moment, and I was like, "Hi, Ben. I'm Karen."
Yeah, we might be sharing the screen at some point. Yeah,
yeah.
that starstruck will go away.
WB had a really, really nice dinner for all of us on the night of the London premiere.
Okay.
So it was a huge table, and it was nice.
Just curious if
Ben
you
was
guys have had
there.
lunch or
Ben was
anything. I'm just
there.
curious. All right, next question.
All right.
Hi.
I've heard various things online about how Jared Leto, to get in character for the Joker, he sent bizarre gifts to all the cast members. Did you receive anything weird from him?
Yep, I did.
Can you name them off?
Yeah. So I got my first adult magazine, my first one. I don't know, you know, in America, I think it's a kind of a culture when you're 18 to go buy your first cigarettes and your first porn magazine just for the hell of it, not because you're, you know, super into it.
Right.
Or some people are. But I never got that experience, and then my first time was with the Joker, so it was pretty memorable. I sent it back to him because, you know, we didn't really have much direct contact with the Joker. I've met him in person and et cetera, but when he sent the gifts, he sent his messenger, and I sent the messenger back with the porn magazine, and I got him to sign it, but as the Joker. Yeah, and it says the Joker was here, so I'm gonna have it framed.
Did you meet Jared on the set?
Yeah, I did.
Did you meet him?
No, I did not.
On the set?
No, we were filming it over the summer, and then the first time I met Jared was the following year in April at CinemaCon.
You met the other Mr. J.
Yeah, I met the Mr. J, but yeah,
So he stays in...
all the time,
Okay.
24/7.
Okay, I have to, does that get irritating? Does that mean it's got to be, because not everybody, you know, the old adage is just, you know, I forget, it was from Marathon Man, I'm drawing the blank on the actor's name, but he told Dustin Hoffman, just act, boy, just act. Does that get irritating for the other actors when this guy's like
No,
breaking character at the donut trays and...
no. I mean, it's kind of, it's cool. It's a cool experience because, you know, so when you're in acting and you go on set and then they start shooting, and that's when you get into character, right? And that's
I
the
would
world.
think,
Yeah, that's the world you live in. But Jared allowed us to bring that home into our reality.
Okay.
Into our real lives, and especially with the bizarre gifts that he gave the squad, it kind of united us against
Did
him.
anybody
and-
get irritated at that? Because it got crazy from, I don't know how much truth, because yeah, he mentioned in the question, but it got like really crazy with some of these things. Nobody got irritated by it at all.
I mean,
Somebody had
no, it wasn't
You won't tell
irritation. It was just like we were kind of shocked.
Okay. Which is what it's
Especially in the
going for,
beginning. I
yeah.
think it started with the dead pig. So that was after the dead pig. You kind of
Okay, so
say,
that actually-
well, what more does he have to give us?
man.
Nothing shocks you after that. But no, I think it's kind of it's very inspiring to see a fellow actor go down that route, and I think for some roles it's very necessary. You know, the Joker is. It's hard to just kind of break into character if you're talking about what you had for dinner last night, and then they say, "Oh, we're gonna shoot," and then you have to become like, like, I don't know. I would assume that
Fair
be
enough.
difficult. So
I just can't see Cesar Romero sending anybody a dead kid. That's just me. Next question.
Okay, you said that you had certain inspirations that you built into your character. Considering Ryu Fukushima in Arrow got to play Tatsu, also, did you actually get to go back and take a look at like some of the backstory that they've been building into the show and kind of drive that into your character also?
no, I made an effort not to see any of the Arrow katana scenes or at all because I didn't want to base my katana on hers. I wanted it to be original, and I think David had a specific vision with our movie, so I didn't watch it. No. Do you think I should go back?
Will you be going back to watch it at all?
I think I would love to see it, but I think I want to do that maybe if we have a second one after that one ends, or after I'm done playing katana is when I want to. Yeah, because I don't want to do a clone version of her.
Just making sure, because when you first came onto the scene, I was like, is that Ryu? Because you had the mask on, and I'm like, it kind of looks like her.
It could have been. It could have been. No. No.
Do you think that would impact you too much then if you did see something and then do a second movie that you might
I think so.
subconsciously maybe lift something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it might be for the better. If she's doing something great, maybe I want to take a couple things from her. But then where does that stop?
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
always interesting for us because we always talk about the DC TV universe and the DC movie universe. And with Marvel, they're like,
Yeah.
everybody's together, and then all of a sudden there's these different actors and actresses in the DC universe. So
I think it's different for a character like Mr. J. There have been so many different versions of him and there's such high expectations. I'm sure it was really difficult to come up with his own version that he did have to see those films, because you don't want to go in there blindly.
Yeah.
But with Katana, I think there is a little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
There's not as much pressure
probably
as,
cleaner slate
as the
too, to
Joker.
come in
Yeah.
on. Yeah. Next question.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to know, how did you feel when you found out you were working with people like Margot Robbie or Jared Leto, and were you shocked or excited?
Well, yeah, it was like, well, because, the previous year I saw Will and Margot in Focus and Wolf of Wall Street. Will has been such an iconic figure for so long. It's scary to work with such talented actors, but they were just so nice from the get-go. Margot is so beautiful, and a lot of people ask me if she was catty or if she was mean on set, and no, not at all. She's like the warmest, down-to-earth person, and Will as well. He burst into the room the first time I met him, and he was singing Beauty and the Beast, and he said, "Hi, Karen, I'm Will," and just gave me a hug right away. Not many people do that, and I think that allowed, because Will is the top person on set, and someone like that allowing himself to be during rehearsals and allowing us to be friendly with him and hang out with him, that really created the tone of the set, and it was fun. It was so much fun.
Better than an adult magazine, right?
Oh yeah.
Hello, I was wondering if you had a traditional Japanese name that you were given and just switched it to, Karen for more people to understand. I had a friend named Sujin, and her English name transferred to Sue.
Okay.
I was wondering if you had one as well.
That's so funny. Sue is my mom's Starbucks name. Yeah, it is. My mom's name is Miss Suzu, like the car Isuzu with an M, and they never get it right at Starbucks. So after a while, she just kept saying Sue, and it's stuck ever since. But no, my Japanese name is Karen, and my English name is Karen. My father, he actually wanted to make sure that the name was bilingual, transferable, whatever the word. Yeah. Because he, growing up, his name's Katsumi, which is really hard to say even in Japanese. So he had a nickname, and he just always wanted to be called by his first name. So he made sure that my name was easy to pronounce in both languages.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Ohayou gozaimasu. I like your shirt.
You have been in martial arts for like pretty much a long time and everything like that. And I just want to know if you going from just doing it on a regular basis in a dojo and like doing it on set, the difference, how did you feel doing it? It's like a little bit different. It's not completely real, but you got to make it as real as possible. So how did you feel when you was doing it?
That's a great question. So yes, it's a little bit different. Because, well, okay, so in the film, if you watch closely, I don't do a lot of martial arts in it. I have a couple kicks in there, but because I'm carrying the sword, I can't really do my punches. In real life, in the form of karate that I do, it's very full contact and straight to the point. For movies, you have to work your angles. And you have to know where the camera is. So let's say the camera is behind me and I have to throw a punch at you. I can't just go for the closest contact because the camera can't see that. So in order to make it look as effective and big and movie appropriate, I have to swing really big, like
So over-exaggeration.
over-exaggerate it, and then the other stuntman that's getting hit will sell it as well. He will go, so instead, if the camera's behind me, instead of just moving here, he will move all the way there, so that my head and your head will be like this, instead of just this and like that. Do you know what I mean? Because if you get hit, you usually move backwards.
Oh, definitely.
But for him, he needs to go this way. Little things like that that I learned on set. It's a lot of fun. But
Any mishaps?
Any mishaps? No, not with me. I think on the first time I picked up a sword, though, I hit Harley Quinn's stunt double in the hand, and yeah, she got kind of like a little sprained bruise.
Okay.
Yeah, but
The
she's,
hand is still intact.
yeah. No, she's a total badass.
We're good to go, yeah.
Yeah, she was smiling the entire time. I'm sure it hurt like hell, but yeah, she was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got time for a couple more questions?
Harley Quinn.
So I'm sure you have plenty of stories, and I guess I was just wondering if there was any story in particular that is like your favorite that you'd want to share.
Yeah, I've talked about so many, but I think one of the ones that we haven't really talked about, because there's so many that we forget about some of them. The crew and the producers, the director, everyone had this golf tournament day because we'd been working nights and we had no connection with the real world. The producers set up a day, or Warner Brothers set up a day where we all kind of went and played golf. But the girls don't play golf. So Margot and I and a couple other assistants and stand-ins, we dressed up in little white golf girl outfits, and we were going around with guns of tequila.
You were the real girls going around.
Yeah,
know that.
yeah, in our cars, and
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It got,
Bound to roll.
yeah, exactly. We weren't not going to be a part of the tournament. We were looking for a way, and then Margot came up with this wonderful idea a couple days before that, and we got little sweatbands and matching outfits from American Apparel. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
There you go. I think we have about time for one more
Thank
question.
you.
And seeing a lot of interviews, I've seen Will Smith often talk about the age difference and how hard it was for him to work with such a large group of a younger cast. I was just wondering if that
interesting.
came up a lot on set, or if he kind of brought that up to you all as well.
Did he say it was difficult?
He said a lot of times he's he would mention you all going out and stuff, and how he was kind of too old for that. Basically, he would say. So I was just kind of curious.
Oh, that's so interesting, because something that I felt during the shoot, and especially at the beginning, coming from a Japanese cultural background, there's a lot of hierarchy with age, and I've grown up, just always being very, very respectful, sometimes too much, to elders and people in higher positions. And then when I went on the set of Suicide Squad, it was like age was not even a factor. Will was, again, so welcoming, and he invited me to dinners and all of us to dinners and lunches, and we hung out with each other so much, and he never talked to me as if I was a child. There was always guidance, of course, because I'm new on set and it's my first film, advices, all of that, but never as, a child or someone that's below him. And I thought that was really, really cool. There was no hierarchy on set because of the age. I think that was a part of the reason why we got so close so quickly.
Thank you.
I know you have to get downstairs to actually start your signing for tonight.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be here all weekend. You're going to be downstairs signing. So if you want to meet up with Karen, she's downstairs. Get a picture, get an autograph. She's going to be downstairs. You're going to be here all weekend.
Yes.
And how can fans find out more about you? You're on Twitter. Where
Yeah,
can they find the latest and greatest?
I try to stick with social media. I have, my biggest platform is Instagram. I'm not very good with Twitter. I just kind of have Instagram photos go directly through to Twitter. But the Twitter and Instagram handles are Karen Fukuhara. So that's Karen Fukuhara, Fukuhara. And then Facebook is just Karen Fukuhara Official. So pretty easy.
We'll follow you. We'll know when Suicide Squad 2 is going to happen. So thanks so much for being
Thank
here.
you so
Cincinnati.
much.
Enjoy Cincinnati. Karen Fukuhara.
Yeah, please come to my booth.